Hello, listeners and viewers. Welcome to another episode of InvoTalks. This is Fatma Suhail, your host for today. And this episode is going to be amazing because it is all going to be about the wireless industry. Because this industry has boomed, and in this year, it is estimated that it is going to rise up to the value of to $930.59 billion. And guys, this is something big. And to discuss this and how 5G users are going to increase in number, how 5G communication, 5G is going to come into our homes or not, because there have been some predictions in 2023 about that, and how wireless industry is going to change and all the trends of the wireless industry. We have Brian Critchfield with us from Awesome Airgain. Brian is a vice president of global marketing over there. So over to you, Brian. How are you?
Good. How are you? It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to meet you and have a discussion.
Yeah, it's complete honor for us because I was really excited to see that how wireless industry is growing in these recent years. Brian, let's begin. And my first question to you is, before I go into trail of what are the industry trends and etc., tell me about yourself. How did you know that telecommunication industry and the wireless industry is something you want to work in?
So been in marketing for about 30 years. The majority of that's been in digital marketing. So technology's always been a passion of mine. Had worked for many different industries, many different fields. Because I had owned agencies during a lot of my career. I had actually done a lot of work in the semiconductor industry, and then ended up joining a semiconductor company full-time on semi now. And in that company, we had a heavy focus on IoT, but we also had about 80,000 different products. So a lot of different products to offer to the market across a lot of different industries. But wireless always fascinated me, and I came across Airgain, and they're really super focused on wireless communications, and so it seemed like it was a very good fit, and that's part of what drew me to Airgain. Small company that was growing too as well, publicly traded, and for me, I'm an entrepreneur, have been a lot of my career, so the ability to build something from scratch was really intriguing to me, and that's what drew me to Airgain.
Amazing. Because as a marketer, it's always difficult, but at the same time, very exciting to build things from scratch. But what I am interested in knowing from marketer to marketer, how difficult was it for you at the Airgain to, find the relevant markets, establish yourself via marketing? Because I think marketing is the main component for, develop your robust standing in the market.
Yeah, it was my background is a lot of product launches and new brand launches. So with that, it's something I've just learned over time, some key skill sets with doing that. At Airgain, there was really very little marketing effort. Airgain's been around for 20 years. A lot of our past is in custom antenna development for major companies like Comcast and Charter Communications and DirecTV, and so we had maybe 25 customers that we did business with. So really marketing wasn't a priority in the past. However, with the recent acquisitions and things like that, it became a much larger priority. So we had to really build things from scratch, build an entire marketing effort. And it took, a lot of trying to figure out target audiences, trying to figure out what I would call lowest hanging fruits, or driest tinder, who's most likely to buy from us based on what we offered to the marketplace. And it was starting there, developing personas and target audiences. And then once you have that, you know where to go in the marketplace and where they get their information from, and you target those channels of communication. So digital's been a big success for us. The beauty, and obviously my background in digital marketing, that's kind of naturally where I gravitate towards. But the beauty of digital marketing is that you can target anybody, anywhere. The targeting capabilities are phenomenal. And so I can get down to the specifics of, geographic, demographic, psychographic, behavioral, all of those different targeting opportunities that exist in digital marketing. So I would say that that's, part of what was intriguing at Airgain was to really build that from scratch.
Yeah. Uh, the digital point you said, I would really agree with you because it has provided marketers, a different perspective in terms of, narrowing down of things, which was, I guess, difficult before, like of understanding the audience, their demographics, their geographics. It's quite interesting to have, and especially the social media platforms and etc. They have proved to be very pivotal in this. From you said that Airgain has been there in the market for 20 years, but it has several products. It has embedded antennas, internal antennas, asset trackers, etc. But in a short and crisp way for our audience, please explain what Airgain does.
Yeah, so it really comes down to the fact that we simplify wireless. We simplify wireless communication, and a lot of people, wireless communication almost seems like black magic, and especially if you're a design engineer and you're building a product that needs to connect to the internet. A lot of times you get to the RF part or the wireless part, and you're going, I don't understand this, or I don't get it, or I don't remember this part in school where we studied RF engineering. And so it's become almost this black magic piece. And what we've done from the very beginning, all of our products, we started in the component side of things, like I said, with custom design antenna systems, where they would just hire us to come in and we would custom design the entire antenna system, placement, what kind of material the antenna is built out, all of that. And then we would bring it to our testing houses and we would test not just the antennas, but the entire system to make sure that that wireless signal was strong and you would get the best signal for what you were trying to accomplish. Then we made acquisitions of other companies, again, in that component space. One of our products is embedded modems. And what we do is we take wireless modules, we put it on a board, and we put enough electronics in there that we're able to get it certified with the cellular carriers. A lot of times when you build a product that needs to connect to a cell network, you have to spend about 18 months worth of time and a bunch of money to get that certified with that cellular carrier to be able to operate on their network. What we do is we get our modem and device certified so that you don't even have to go through that carrier certification process. So everything we build is about simplifying wireless. Then what we've done is we've taken those components, we've started to build our own off-the-shelf products. So we build a vehicle networking platform, we build asset trackers, we have our own external antennas too as well. So, but everything's around that message and that value proposition of simplifying wireless communication.
Amazing. You guys are simplifying the wireless communication. Because
Right.
like you said, for engineers, it's kind of black magic. And for non-techie people, it's kind of difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned this in the beginning too as well. Wireless technology, it's almost like a wild west, right? You've got cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LoRa, Zigbee, SIG-Fi. I mean, you've got all of these different technologies that are out there, and it's hard to understand when to use what technology, what wireless communication protocol, what are you trying to do? And that's a big part of what we do is we just take all of that complexity and we simplify it for you.
Simplification in anything, in any product is the main key. Because
Yes.
actually, as a marketer, I would say that users are someone who do not have an understanding, but you have to give them the simple thing they can use.
Yes, absolutely. There was Mark Twain is a famous writer in the United States, Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, all of those. He used to say, if you want me to speak for 2 hours, I can do that right now. If you want me to speak for 15 minutes, you're going to have to give me a couple of weeks to prepare. Simplification takes time. It takes effort to get to simple, right? It's a difficult process, but once you get there, it all makes sense, right?
Yeah, it all makes sense because I also have a content writing background. So writing small is difficult while writing like 2-3 pages is kind of easy. That's what I understand. That's what I is. Tell me how important it is for startups, because we have many startups also as our audience. How important it is for startups to attend the events like MWC. Recently, another event happened, Leap. How important it is for them to invest in these kind of events, because startups have kind of limited resources. But from your experience, I want to know that is it important for them, or how, if it is, then how much important it is?
Yeah, events like MWC as well as other industry events, it's a chance for the industry to get together and talk about where things are headed. What are the trends? Where are things going? What standards are we kind of arriving at? And it's really a chance to get everybody together in one place, and you can do more in 1 week oftentimes than you can in 6 months or a year, just by getting everybody together that you want to talk to. So I highly important. There's lots of different ways to do it. You don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars, euros, whatever currency you're using on a booth. You can even just come and walk, and you can, set appointments. You can meet with people, but just to be there and just to participate, it is, I think, a huge bonus. So yeah, I'm a big believer in attending industry events.
Yeah, I would agree that it's not very much important to, have your own booth and spend on things. You can also attend and talk to people. There are multiple opportunities for networking, socializing, because as a person, I believe that how much you learn from other people, you probably, this is a controversial statement, you cannot learn that much from book or reading. Uh, that's what I believe.
I would agree. I would say, experience is a much better teacher oftentimes, right?
Yeah, yeah. So do you guys have, because Airgain is also in the MWC, I would love to know any specific plans for MWC, sightseeing. I know you must have a lot of meetings set up, but any specific plans?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anytime you're in a beautiful place like Barcelona, it's hard not to go see some of the sites, and would love to do that. But oftentimes, you're just staring at the inside of a convention center, right, and just getting to know people. But it'll actually, I've spent a lot of time in Europe, but have never been to Spain, so this will be my first time in Spain, and looking forward to Barcelona, and again, a beautiful backdrop. Much better than Las Vegas on the U.S. side of things, where we do a lot of our conventions and trade shows. So I'm looking forward to that.
So amazing. Our team InvoZone was at MWC last year, and they were like, Spain is amazing. Their buildings, their food, culture, as a whole, the tech landscape, I would say, remarkable, because we had one startup from Spain, and the way the things are unfolding in Europe in terms of technology, amazing, innovative solutions in blockchain, in game development, especially after COVID, how innovation and technology has changed all the things around. It's like phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and I would say too, I mean, you wouldn't traditionally think of Barcelona as kind of the capital of technology in Europe. You'd go to a Germany, you'd go to a UK, places like that. But I think they're doing a great job of building that ecosystem in Spain.
I would agree with you on that, especially with the MWC happening over there. As a person who is present in the market, I keep on reading different predictions as 2023 has just started. Um, I was reading a prediction, and I really want your opinion on it. Is 5G going to move indoors?
I think that's a good question. And this is, I'll speak from my opinion rather than, industry trends. But I think overall, we believe that that's probably the strongest argument for 5G. There's a lot of people that are trying to find the right applications for 5G because it gives you such broad broadband. It gives you the bandwidth that you need to do a lot of different things. However, what we believe the killer app to be is really what's called fixed wireless access. In other words, instead of bringing in cable or fiber or something like that into your home for internet access, the cellular carriers are now able to compete in that business by utilizing 5G. 5G gives you the speed and the bandwidth to be able to compete with the broadband internet providers in the home. And so fixed wireless access is a device that brings the cellular signal in, and then it turns around and it transmits Wi-Fi within the home. Yeah, we believe fixed wireless access to be one of those technologies that can really help 5G take off. So yeah, we're big believers in that. That the home is one of the I think the best use cases for 5G. On the other side too, as well, we believe cellular as a backbone is a great technology for a lot of different things. Asset tracking is a great example. We build our asset trackers on cellular technology. We also have Wi-Fi and GPS for triangulation purposes, but by using cellular, it allows you to instantly get connected without all of the infrastructure. So Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, RFID, all of these technologies require you to have some sort of infrastructure to be able to receive that wireless signal. With cellular, all of the towers are already set up and you just use the existing infrastructure. So we believe that, yes, cellular 5G have a lot of applications, and I think we're just getting started down that pathway.
Let's hope that we get something very much useful for the users and facilitate them, because in the end, I guess all the main goal of Airgain is to facilitate its users. And yeah. Another question just popped up in my mind is that what trends do you see in the wireless industry in this year?
5G has a lot of momentum behind it. There's a lot of discussion behind that. But also there's a lot of discussion around narrowband and keeping wireless communication really small and simple. And in general with what's called the Internet of Things, or IoT, that's kind of a wild west right now. There's a lot happening in IoT. I think we're going to start to see more standards and more real world use cases where IoT is delivering real world value. I think ultimately that's what we're trying to get to. Technology in general is great, and it's wonderful to see these new technologies and what are the possibilities and what can we do. But in the end, it's all about return on investment. And so within IoT, within 5G, I think we're going to start to see some really good use cases that deliver really good in return on investment, or ROI. Those are some, I think, some of the biggest trends. Cellular obviously is a big one. 5G is the big one in cellular. LoRaWAN is another kind of big, wide area network technology. I think the integration of technologies and how you get all of these different wireless protocols to work together is also a big trend too. So those are a few that I would mention.
Amazing. I would say, all I think is that these trends which you just mentioned are going to, be like top in 2023. And let's see what other things are coming, because I think technology is such a kind of industry where, everything is just so rapidly transforming.
Well, and not only that, but connectivity is really the backbone of our lifestyles as human beings. Everything we do today in 2023 is all about being connected, whether it's on your phone, whether it's a wearable device, whether it's your computer, whether it's your home, appliances, everything's connected today. And it all requires that wireless signal and that wireless backbone to make it all work. It's ubiquitous in our lives, and it's also you don't even really think about it anymore, right? It's just instantly, you expect everything to work, you expect everything to be connected. It's fascinating today when you get a poor wireless signal or a poor broadband signal in your home and you're working from home. It's like, I can't do any work now because my lifestyle is interrupted because I'm no longer connected. Everything in our lives is connected like it's never been before. And so wireless communication is really a critical backbone for our lives. And it's really interesting to see that continue to progress.
I completely agree. Wireless connections are like the backbone, because everything you are doing, it depends upon the wireless connection. Like you said, I'm working from home and the internet has not coming. And by the way, this has happened with me. So I can literally not understand what you said. So thank you so much, Brian, for being with us. And we would love to have you for some other episode after MWC. What do you say?
I would love to do that. I appreciate it.
Right. Because I really enjoyed my discussion here, and I heard some of the refreshing kind of point of view from you, and that's really kind of good as a marketer. So thank you so much for giving us your time, and it's such an honor to have you with us.
Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Brian.